Hello, America. It's time to check the nonsense at the door, clear the cobwebs between your ears, and have a rational-ish conversation. This is the lost art of common sense.
On the 13th floor of a corporate tower, a team of scientists have created a portal to a simulated universe. Now, after 6 years of testing, they are about to cross the boundaries of reality.
So the whole thing's what, a giant computer game?
Nothing so mundane, man. When my mind is jacked in and I'm walking around experiencing 1937, my body stays here and kind of holds the consciousness of the program link unit.
That's right, America. I'm Josh.
And I'm Kevin.
And this is the lost art of common sense, brought to you by our merch shop where you saw our kick-ass designs at the beginning of the show, except for that one person, Rumble, who obviously got tired of looking at our shirts and logged off. But whatever. Today we're going to be talking about simulation theory.
That's right.
But before we get into that, I wanted to give a quick shout out to, I think his name's Daramouth. I think that's how he pronounces his name.
He was weird.
Let's stop
But
here.
he stopped by.
Let's pay a little for beauty.
last week.
Stopped by last
so
week.
back
Gave us a
to-
little
so
$2
talk-
tip.
I think
And
they're using other.
I guess he
Oh,
does
yeah.
live stream and jumps around.
Well, if you guys want to give us tips, we'll accept everything.
Or
We will.
Or he's using.
We're
or
down
they're
with
using
tips.
something else. Oh, they're using.
Yeah.
Especially if
Well, is
you
it a good
live
idea?
stream
Not
our
just-
show on your show
Latest
and make fun of us at the same
assassin.
time.
Yeah.
You
Okay,
know,
we've stopped here.
We're going to hit a
Yeah,
certain
latest assassin,
See if they will
hopeful,
see us or not.
certain
calling for
point,
someone to finish
and
the
then I
job
will-
and saying
I will
that he
switch
would
it.
pay for them to do it. Was that a
Let's
responsible
see.
action of the FBI?
No,
And,
I think that was
me and
super
Kevin may be a
stupid,
guest
and
on
if
this
it would've
guy's
been
show.
Literally
Super
anyone.
stupid.
Yeah.
How can you be more
After he made fun of us,
stupid
they
than
wouldn't have done
stupid?
that.
I mean,
So,
why
I
not?
mean, how long did it take
There's
for
no
the
such
fire-
thing
So
as bad
nothing beyond
exposure,
So
Kevin.
well, that's true.
I'm not sure what brought out the
Well,
German accent.
There's
I-
exposing,
because,
which is bad.
25
Well,
yeah.
that's true.
Her manifesto
When-
didn't like
Yeah, John.
get released
This is where he noticed our
a
name
year
tags.
and a half ago.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Abe.
Because
Yeah,
there
I
might have
did
been
all of
violence
that
against
and
trans
more.
people.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah.
Wait for
Well,
it.
instead of that, you're like,
I
ah,
appreciate
you know,
that.
we'll just
This
let
one
this
was
letter
interesting.
slip
Yeah,
out.
but
but,
bearded
you know.
men, why doesn't?
So yeah, we have no problem with people making fun of us.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious. I went over to his live stream after we were done and we're chatting with him, and he was looking for guests. I'm like, we'll be guests
Yeah,
because we don't care. And I can see if you were to just jump into our show thinking it's random or boring or whatever because you don't know what it's about. But I appreciate him stopping by, giving us a little $2, and so we'll be on a show
Yes, sir.
later this month. So thank you much, Daramouth. If that's not how you pronounce your name,
so be it.
please spell it phonetically. Or what is that? No, that's
No, that's
phonetically, isn't
right. Phonetically's right.
it? Yeah, phonetically.
Yeah.
All right, so let's jump into this subject, Kevin. Have you heard of simulation theory? And if so, what is your basic understanding of it?
I have heard of simulation theory, and basically it is that we are living in a simulation, not actual like created world from, I mean, it's created, but by a computer simulation, basically, instead of just like real, I guess would be the way to put that. Basically, we're in a giant computer simulation, and we're all a bunch of phonies.
Not just because you're a computer program doesn't mean you're
We're all made of code and phoniness.
technically your brain is a
Phonies.
computer, so well, and there was something that I think kind of goes along with simulation theory as far as like because you heard I've been hearing a lot that string theory is a bunch of bullshit, but theoretical physicists said that we're basically living in a 3D hologram.
Maybe,
Like everything's holographic. Like that's an actual
but I can feel
theory
stuff.
on it.
What the hell does that mean?
Because it's all holographic. Well, you move stuff on a holodeck. That's real life, Kevin.
That is Star Trek, dummy. I
Oh,
don't think that's real. I mean, I don't know, but I mean, I feel stuff. I'm drinking a beer. I can feel the coldness and the deliciousness on my tongue.
well, it's because you're programmed to taste that. Have you seen or heard
You're
any?
programmed to taste something.
Well, yeah. Have you seen or heard of any evidence of the simulation theory? Hmm?
There's like anomalies and stuff that doesn't make sense. You'll see stuff like on the internet of glitches in the matrix, stuff like that. People just pausing for no reason or shifting weirdly. I mean, there's a bunch of so-called evidence, theoretical evidence, I guess, but yeah, it's out there, and yeah, you don't know, which is weird. And is it a simulation that's running freely, or is it a simulation that's programmed? I mean, I don't know.
Well, if it's an AI based program, then I mean,
Or do we have free will, or are we programmed to, is there a natural conclusion? Like, is there a disaster ahead of us that somebody programmed in that we don't know about?
well,
Shit
I
like
was,
that.
yeah, when I was watching some videos, not really researching per se, but I was watching one of the Joe Rogan podcasts where the guy he was saying something about like you live and you die, but like your entire existence is broken up because you basically shut off when you go to sleep. So he's like, how
Well,
the
what's-
hell that you don't know that you like if you woke up this morning if it wasn't the first time you woke up? You know what I mean?
I guess like everything's downloaded into you.
No, like right now could be the first time that we were loaded up, and then we just have implanted memories, kind of like was that
If somebody
Dark City?
implanted my memories, I'm going to be fucking pissed because my
You've
life
lived a
hasn't
real
been awesome.
shitty life.
Exactly. Come on. I mean, I guess it was a pretty good, like, I don't know, if you wanted to treat somebody like shit, I guess. I mean, that's a pretty good, you did well. You did well.
You got a 5-star on that one.
Yeah. But I mean, if you're picking somebody to pick themselves up by the bootstraps and get rich.
Well, I mean, it was just an interesting thought. I mean, like if like fuck, we don't know. I mean, think like no, because I remember yesterday. Do you though?
What about everybody else? I mean, is it just a I mean, is everybody programmed around me then? Is everybody got their own program?
Well, I would.
Like, I
think
remember last week, and
that- no, you don't.
yeah, I do, and you remember last week me being there.
Yeah,
We have it on
I would
video.
think that not everyone, which we'll get to a question.
There
later
is
on.
a archive of a bunch of shit I've done in the last 3 years on YouTube, Rumble, and X, and Facebook, where you should be all liking, subscribing, and sharing our podcast.
That's right. Don't forget, comment below.
Yeah, comment below.
Yeah,
Special
I mean,
likes.
it's just a weird way of looking at it. I mean, because it gets you thinking. It's like, well, is it? Is it though? So
I don't know. I think that's I think that's going a little far.
yeah, I mean, it's the whole thing. Everything around this, though.
There's a
makes
lot
it
of
very
holes
hard.
in that one, though. I just don't see how.
What's the hole? You wouldn't remember. You wouldn't know if the everything.
Well, I mean,
in your
everybody
mind
else would either A, have to also have the chip put in, or B, everybody else is completely fake and you're the only real one.
You never know.
Yeah, I guess, but really?
No, what I'm saying is like basically what he's saying is if you booted up a program, boom, it's on, and all the incorporated characters were in there, then you would have the memories that you're implanted with, and it would be everyone on there.
Because somebody made every podcast we had.
Oh, that's nice. Comment.
Thanks, Brandon. You did
You're the
well.
man.
You did exactly what we told you.
Follow instructions to the T.
To the T.
I would say one of the weirdest potential evidences for it is the observation effect.
Yeah, that's it's a weird thing. Like when a particle, like you explain it because you explain it better. But
Well, I think it has to do with neutron particles, and they
Yeah.
put it out through the emitter onto a collector. And when it goes through a slit in a steel plate or whatever the plate is, it clusters on the collector. And then when they put two, the sensor was picking up waves. Almost looks like crossing and interacting waves going. But then when they put a detector to see why these neutrons are doing that, it made two separate clusters for each slit in the plate.
Yeah, it's weird.
It is weird. There's nothing that explains it because they've tried it with, okay, we're going to trick these particles and we're going to put the sensor there, but we're not going to plug it in. And it did the wave pattern. As soon as they plugged it in, it did the clusters. And they've done that. Huh?
It's like a reverse Schrodinger's cat thing. Where like the cat's alive until you open the box, then it's dead.
Yeah, I mean, and they've done that with particles from like space, which means in order for them to change their configuration on the collector, they would have had to go back in time and alter their trajectory from there. So it doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Does not.
And then they go into like the golden ratio of like, I think it's like 1.64 or whatever. Or like even in nature, like there's a lot of patterns. Like there's like in
Yeah.
nature, like this ratio shows up all over the place.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called. It's like
It's called the golden ratio.
I don't think so.
No, that's literally what it's.
I don't like that.
I think you're thinking of something else as.
I am. It's a pattern. It's like a round. I don't know. I can't remember.
No, I know you're talking
There's a
about.
certain pattern that keeps happening in
That's
nature.
different. That's some mathematicians' numbers that ratios that. It's not the golden ratio, but it's a mathematical pattern that keeps showing up all over the place in nature and everything. Because if you look at nature, everything's based on patterns and mathematics, and it is weird that like you have a. Like, why is there a law of physics that says you can't go faster than light? Like, why is that there? Other than it is, but like, okay, why? That's weird.
Because mass,
Like-
your mass becomes greater than something. I can't remember what it is.
Well, no, I'm just saying though. But like,
The,
and then if you go-
the mass, because anything of mass becomes. like,
it comes harder to get. Like, you can only go so fast before like the amount of energy to push your mass.
Yeah, it
is, like,
becomes
whatever.
Yeah.
The weird thing is how it alters time though, in order to keep you from breaking the speed of light.
Yeah.
That's how you can like go into the future if you were on a train going around the planet at just like near the speed of light. If it went around for like a year and it stopped, I think you're like
That's why you need
100 years in the future or something like that.
Yeah, that's why you need a warp drive where you bend space, not real fast.
Exactly, breaking the mathematics.
That's right.
If we are living in a simulation, and that is the case, what is that? Is that a case for or against God?
I think against.
I can see it both ways.
I mean, something has to make the person that made the simulation, I guess. I mean, eventually there's a God, but I mean, do we just go back into the source code?
I mean, I don't know.
Is that God? Is the source
could
code
be
God?
could
I
be
mean,
the
that would have.
programmer.
I mean,
I
yeah,
don't
but you don't like if I play Civilization, and you know I kill somebody in the game, or if I play a video game and something, they don't meet me.
Yeah, because it's
Like
not
they're just dead. They're deleted. That's
good
it.
of a player.
They go back to the source code and probably rejuvenate it into another person later on in the game. I guess. I
Maybe.
don't know. I mean, they just go to the source code. I guess. I don't know, but I mean, it's.
I hope
source code is
Civilization
not
isn't
God.
like a mini AI simulation because I've used the nuke in that game a couple times.
See, and you
So-
probably killed billions.
I played that
you
game a
a-hole.
lot.
Yeah, you've killed billions, you mass murderer.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've played games where like you just destroy the world, find different
I
ways
like to
destroy
take over
world.
the world when I play that. Do you think there's more or less evidence for simulation over base reality?
You spelled that wrong. I
They
was wondering-
can't see
I
my
was-
notes.
I know, but I was wondering what the hell you're asking. But now it makes sense.
So if we're talking about simulation over base legality,
I'm like, I don't know what that means.
well, you know,
I don't know. I mean, if this is a simulation, I guess this is my base reality. I wouldn't know what base reality is if I'm in a simulation. It's a catch-22. You don't know. You can't
Base
figure it out
reality-
until you're done. Until your
Well-
game's over. That's when you figure it out.
no.
Yes.
Well, if you turn
But
it
you
off, you
wanna
wouldn't know.
hack
You
it?
just wouldn't be there.
You can't hack it.
Maybe you can. Maybe you can be
Maybe
like Neo.
you can become Neo.
I'm just saying.
I'm gonna fucking fly, dude.
Hmm. It's like, oh, is that
I
Superman?
mean, I
No,
guess you
he's
wouldn't
fat.
know though. Do you think there's more or less evidence? I mean, I think there's equal amount. I mean, I think
It's like the
50-50.
more you look into this subject, the
it's
weirder
50-50
it is.
as far as I'm concerned. But I mean,
Yeah.
there's enough evidence saying we're in a simulation, but you hope you're in a. I mean,
Well,
I
we'll
guess-
just
I mean,
we'll
my
just
gut
jump to that.
feeling. My gut feeling is we're in a base reality.
since we're talking about that, we'll jump down to the second to last question because Elon Musk thinks like it's like 1 in a billion chance that we're actually base reality. Neil deGrasse Tyson, who's a very smart man, very good at explaining astrophysics and how things work, fucking stupid when it comes to the gender stuff.
Oh yeah.
He thinks it's 50-50. Flip of a
Yeah,
coin.
I think I'm more Neil deGrasse Tyson type of dude because I just can't. I don't know. I don't want to believe we're in a simulation because I think that
Takes away from life.
yeah.
There was someone said that, well, if we are living in a simulation, it doesn't really matter because this is your reality, so live it the best you can.
Yeah,
Like,
why not?
there's no point, like, oh,
Why worry about it?
yeah,
I mean, what can I do about it? I mean, I can't do anything about it.
no. So
Maybe
I mean,
remove
even-
my VR
or-
headset and go back to my other life, I guess.
Who says that you're jacked in and somebody
I
else?
am, dude, because I'm fucking real. I'm as real as it gets.
I'm totally legit.
I'm totally legit, dude. I'm a legit
Yeah.
motherfucker.
Just random question. So there's a back all through human history. There's like all these weird myths about wizards, dragons, orcs, hobbits.
Nerd.
I'm just saying, when you start thinking about simulation theory, it's like, well, do we have all these mythical legends because
Somebody
it's
hit
like
reset.
our simulation was written over like Dungeons and Dragons or something?
Oh man. Somehow the Dragon Master became or whatever was that what they called? The Dragon? I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't play that
The
game.
main dude in Dungeons and Dragons, the one that makes the rules and stuff. Maybe he's like, we'll just go to normal shit. Let's let this play out for a while. Like maybe that's why there's dragons like in every myth, like all over the country. Like almost every like civilization had some kind of form of dragon in their myths, and in their olden tales, like the Chinese, the English, I think people in Aztecs. They
Well,
all
that,
had,
I mean,
they all
I
had
guess-
dragons. I mean, and there's I don't know about I don't know about orcs and hobbits. I think that's just
No, I'm pretty
J.R.R.
sure
Tolkien.
hobbits was an actual like subspecies.
I
of
think that was
Homo
just a
sapiens.
hairy little person.
No, like they
somebody's
are
dead.
literal like back.
Neanderthal.
They say in the Neanderthal times there were
Yeah,
a
there
bunch
were-
of subsection
yeah.
of human sapiens, and
Well-
one of them were hobbits.
Well, I mean,
I'm not sure if they had giant hairy feet, but they were short.
kind of, man. Old Bilbo.
But yeah, like there was like a bunch of different ones, but it is kind of weird because then that goes into
I mean, a lot of these. I mean, there has to be because I mean, a lot of mythical creatures are, between like there's multiple references to them between, people that should not have ever interacted or known, like,
I mean, the only other thing I could chalk that up to as far as like dragons and stuff is like if somebody came across like dinosaur fossils or something, it was like, oh my god, it's a dragon.
also possible.
So that could be it. Still doesn't explain why, pyramids and shit like that sprung up all over the earth around almost at the same
and
time, on
almost the
opposite
same,
sides. Yeah, configuration,
latitude.
same star clusters.
Yeah.
So like that's like, is it simulation or is it
is it
alien?
latitude the one goes sideways, or is that longitude?
I think latitude is sideways.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, so I mean, they're all around the same latitude too, which is really weird.
And don't they have to do with some kind of like ley lines or some shit?
Yeah, I don't know.
Some experts say that we are rapidly closing in on this simulation point where reality and basically the reality and the simulation, you can't tell the difference. And they say that at that point, they call it the simulation flashpoint, that'll actually be like proof that we are in a simulation. Because that's what they say. Like they say base reality. So like say we create a simulated world.
Yeah.
Are you having a stroke?
Nope. Just trying to figure out what the fuck you're saying here.
No, say we hit the simulation singularity or flashpoint. And we built a fully immersive AI driven
We lost
simulation where people their programs are going around and they think they're real people and they think that it's real life. At that point, then say we're base reality. Well, then at some point that simulation can create its own simulation, and that's how you get the simulation tiers. And that's why Elon Musk says, like, we could be one of billion simulations built inside another and another and another and another. So who knows what base reality is? That could be fifth dimensional aliens.
He might have shut us down.
Who?
Elon.
Because we were talking about it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, we lost X.
Access to your Twitter account. Oh no.
Why?
I don't know. Hold on, I'm trying to reconnect.
I don't know. We could be. I mean, is it going to happen? I don't know. No, we're live still.
No, I think we would. I think we will.
We're live.
Oh.
I don't know why it said we weren't.
Well, it says...
See, that's a simulation glitching.
It's a simulation glitch. No, they say we're going to get there. It's not if, but when.
I mean, I'm sure we are. I mean, VR and stuff is all,
They say anywhere from 50 to 100 years because we're reaching...
Doesn't matter. I'll be dead.
Yeah, well, probably. Unless we learn how to
probably.
upload our minds.
I guess. Do I really want to? Do I really want to upload my mind? I've seen that show. Have you ever seen that show?
Thought of living... Yes. Doesn't the thought of living forever seem kind of boring?
Listen,
Unless you're out doing stuff.
I get bored like in a couple hours, let alone millions of years. Like, I would just assume.
Mr. Maker.
Yeah.
I don't even remember you're commenting to because I'm bad at my job. No, but like they say it's going to happen. The problem is technology has been like doubling itself over and over again. Yes, we are live.
Yes, we are. We're live right now.
But the problem is technology advancement slowing down because we don't have the actual hardware for it. We're coming up to a hardware and power issue.
Well, yeah, I'm sure there's going to be something I'm sure it's going to happen. I mean, I just don't know when or I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it will happen. I don't know if we'll know it. I mean, would you know if somebody's decided to be a fucking dumbass asbestos worker for, his VR fun?
I mean, you got to do what you got to do, man. You got to do what you got to do to pay the bills. Here's a question for our listeners. Oh, yeah, we are. We're totally live. Who out there watching, out of the 5 or 6 people watching the show right now, has seen the movie The 13th Floor?
No one has.
And if you have seen it, did you like
No
it?
one.
I've seen it, and I thought it's awesome.
Never even heard of it.
13th Floor. I want to see, out of the people watching, has anybody seen that movie?
No one has seen it.
It's back from 1990. So,
I don't even know if you've seen it. I don't think you have seen it.
I have seen it. I've seen it like 100 times. It's a great movie.
Maybe.
Better than The Matrix.
Whatever.
For what it is.
Yeah, garbage. Yes, it's a better garbage.
You haven't even seen it. See? Yep.
I think he's just trying to make you feel good.
I knew he'd seen it.
Oh, see, you loaded that question up because you knew somebody's seen it.
No.
You loaded it. That's a loaded question. That's cheating.
Not a loaded question. The 13th Floor was a good movie, made 1999, and I think that it was.
Was it a good movie? That's the question.
Yes.
You say it is, but you might have garbage taste.
No, he said, yup. That's to both.
Till you've seen it. That's not to both.
Garbage. All right, so last question on simulation theory before we get into our conspiracy theory idea. We just came up with this today. It's a new theory, and we think it holds water. We'll have to get your guys' comments on it.
Yes.
If we are living in a simulation, because it is weird how you have people in this country and the world, doesn't matter if it's right, left, or whatever, that it doesn't matter what external stimuli come in, whether it be information, proof of this or that, they will not change who they are. Oh.
Ha!
That is... Well, yeah. Who doesn't have an obsession with Bruce Campbell?
Bruce Campbell's the man.
Come on.
Come on.
We're going to be talking about a horrible movie here in a second. But since you have like these people that like kind of like how that Yuri von whatever who warned against uh Russian subversion, who just won't, you can't change your mind. Like,
Yeah.
do you think what is it if we're in a simulation, would those be NPCs?
Yep. I absolutely agree with that. Yes, they're NPCs. I think just to annoy me, maybe. I don't know.
Possibly. That's why we have this shirt, not an NPC, which you can order in our merch shop. Link in the
Now,
description
I was
below.
more referring to people who don't have an inner monologue.
Well, that too. That's also weird.
Yeah, I feel like they're not real.
But yeah, I just
Sorry if you
it's
don't have an
weird.
inner monologue and you're watching the show. You're real. The rest of them aren't.
Yeah, just be sure to like, subscribe, share.
Yeah,
comment.
do that. Then go about your sim life.
All right, Kevin. So before I roll in our conspiracy theory idea, explain the 1988 theory.
Okay, so the 1988 anomaly is the universe had, well, humanity pretty much got wiped out, and it was a cataclysmic event. So in 1988, and so the universe reset itself to restart, and we started at 1988. So that's basically the whole theory. That's why there's Mandela effects, all from early 80s or 80s kind of Mandela effects. There's also that is why there's nostalgia towards everything 80s. That's why even people born after the 80s have a nostalgic look at the 80s and love that era.
Yes.
Because the world ended in 1988 and the universe or simulation resetted itself.
And what incidentally came out in 1988, Kevin?
Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
That's right. So our theory is that what happened in 1988 is the planet was invaded by killer clowns from outer space. Like, that movie is not a movie for entertainment. That movie
Biography.
is like basically a biography of the world. And what happened is they won, they wiped out humanity, and somehow that, like, I guess upset the universe.
Yes.
So they reset it, but
without the clowns.
They reset it without the clowns, but they knew that like something that traumatic would be burned into your psyche. So in order to rationalize the people's irrational fear of clowns, like, I'm not going to name any names, Kevin. So it's like, well, we can't have this. It'd be like the Matrix. Like, you know how they said, we used to make it like an Eden and people are always trying to wake up. So you need to have something to explain this clown thing. So like, I know we'll make a movie of what actually happened, but the humans won. That way they'll never
It's
know.
going to be such a shitty movie that, no one.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space is great.
They made such a shitty movie that no one will take it seriously.
They're coming. Oh yeah. And by the way, there's going to be a sequel to this movie, but no, this theory tracks.
I just want to let everybody know we made this theory up in like 5 minutes.
No, this is a real conspiracy theory.
Yeah, we made up. Well, not make up. We figured
hypotenused.
It's a theory.
It all tracks.
It may or may not be real. No one can prove it.
Prove us
and
wrong.
That's the greatness of it. No one can prove our shitty theory.
That's right.
So try proving it. The world ended because of clowns. It reset itself.
And in order to cover up the trauma that we received from the clowns,
tell me I'm wrong.
They made the movie.
Yeah.
It's not a cult classic movie. It's definitely something dark.
It's a biography.
That's right. All right, Kevin, let's run in. Let's jump into winners and losers of the week.
In my book, you're a winner too.
I think you're a loser.
Who's your loser, buddy?
My loser is Tim Walz.
Tim Walz?
No. From, the debate.
Oh.
Because he was garbage. And he's friends with school shooters.
Yeah, that was a really
and
I knew what he was saying, but that was so random.
I know he keeps messing up the. I just messed up saying that when he said he was in Tiananmen Square.
Yeah, well, and they said
I'm just a knucklehead.
I know they were scrambling to find a running mate, but
Dude,
we didn't know he had so many lies in his background.
I just didn't know that. I actually don't think he did that bad. I mean, he had a few flubs and stuff, but
man,
JD
killed
Vance.
him is like what hurt him is also what hurt Biden. It was the split screen.
Yeah, that dude's got some big old eyes.
Well, it's just like he agreed with everything that JD Vance said.
Oh, just weird. He's a
Yeah, he's a
big,
weird
weird dude, man. He got all red and sweaty, and I don't
Because
know.
he was nervous.
Yeah, he's horrible.
It was nice for JD Vance to give him his empathy. You got a real hard job, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're bad at it. Is it because you're nervous all the time and your eyes are never moistened because you always had them all the way open?
Oh, it'd be funny if you turn like, "Hey, buddy, just go ahead and blink." Doesn't that
Let's
feel
go ahead
better?
and moisten them eyes, boy, because it you're staring really hard.
Well, and in running on that topic, my loser was the CBS monitors because
Yeah,
they just did a bad job. Like, and not just because they tried to fact check JD Vance when
You
they said
called
they
them out on it
weren't,
at least.
and then they set walls up to fact check Vance. Like their question was basically asking him to fact check Vance. But also what was disappointing about it is when they would get in a back and forth, like an actual debate, because that was a good debate.
Yeah,
That was like the older debates where everyone gets along, they're answering their questions. And then every time that those two would go back and forth, i.e. debate, they'd shut it down. So that was annoying. Like those people were they were the worst by far. And the 3-on-1 that Trump had to deal with, I think they were worse than that, just because they had the potential to allow them to have a good debate and they didn't.
yeah. I mean, they even set the rules. They said the rules. We're not going to fact check you. And like 3 questions in, they fact checked them.
And it wasn't even a correct fact check.
No,
So I don't know.
at least he called them out on it and explained why they were wrong.
And then they cut his mic.
Then they cut.
It
his
would have been.
mic.
It just would have been nice if they had a
I just wish.
just let the people talk and actually let people make up their minds based on what the people are saying.
Yes, let them figure out if it's true or false.
Well, that's why that Megyn Kelly said like she intentionally asked hard questions because you're not there to be their friend. You're there to pry the information out of them so
Yeah.
voters know what they're voting for. Because believe it or not, voting who you're voting for, as we can see, makes a big difference in your life. So I mean,
Yeah, no shit.
I don't care who you vote for. Just
I'm broke.
know who you're voting
Thanks,
for.
Biden.
Yeah.
Or Harris or whoever. I mean,
Whoever's running the show.
I don't know who's running the show. Does anybody? Did you see him yesterday talking about the storm?
Yeah. Like, what storm?
Yeah, what storm? Oh, the one that ravaged the fucking.
That's when you
Southeast?
know that's when you know we're screwed. It's like, oh God.
I mean, come on. The dude's president and he doesn't know what's going on. He just went there. This was after he went there.
Yeah, it was like as he was leaving one of the sites.
Yeah. Like
Speaking of that, Kevin, who's your winner?
the volunteers actually. Well, the people trying to do good, and FEMA is not really allowing them to do good. But the people that are bringing in food, just the normal civilians, just bringing in food, even the National Guard, all the people that are putting their lives at risk, who put their lives at risk.
You know what? I understand, buddy, and no, we wouldn't understand.
What's that?
Thanks for tuning in, buddy.
Thanks for tuning in. Want to be a guest?
Yeah, want to be a guest? Contact the show. LostCommon1 at Gmail.
Yeah, so all the people, like all these individual charities, all these people taking times out of their lives to help others. Good on you. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, I thought that was really good. I mean, there's stories. I think in one area they had 34 private helicopter pilots
Yeah.
flying their own planes in and getting people out, getting supplies in.
Until FEMA
No.
shut them down.
No, those guys didn't get stopped.
Oh.
That area, like, that's an actual program. Like, I don't know if it's a program you sign up for if you happen to own a helicopter and like you just sign up. Kind of like there's pilots for pets. Some of you heard of that?
Yep.
Like sometimes if a private jet's going somewhere and they have a dog or an animal that needs to get to wherever, they'll just fly them for free. But no, the one that got shut down was a dude who was flying a helicopter, getting people out, and he was shut down by a fire marshal, threatening to have him thrown in jail.
These
Which,
power trip motherfuckers.
yeah. And for one thing, fire marshals can't arrest anybody. And two, here's the fucked
Well,
up
he's a
part,
mar-
and
he's
why
the
I wouldn't
Marshal
have.
of Fire.
Yeah, well, here's the fucked up part, and why I wouldn't have told anybody about this. So he went in. He did make some trips, did take some supplies, but his last runs, he went in to rescue this couple, and he brought his wife and their dog down, and then he left his son and the guy. I don't know why. He has a 4-seater helicopter, and he was only taking one person.
I think he's
for
trying to
fun.
make a move on the wife. Is my thing.
Possibly, or he not that good of a pilot. Because there's no way he wasn't carrying supplies back, so there's no way he shouldn't have been able to take at least, unless she was a husky lady. 'Cause
She might be
helicopters are
husky.
weight
Yeah.
sensitive. But no, that's when he came back and he was planning all this stuff with the rescue people there. And that's when the fire marshal came up and said, "If you go back again, you're messing up my plane. I'm gonna have you thrown in jail. I'm gonna have it done." Well, so he's like, all right. So he goes back, gets his son, and he leaves and left the dude.
That's so weird.
There's no way in hell, for one, I would do that.
I would just let some stranger
like,
take my kid
I'm
anyway.
what I'm saying is he went
I'm
back
saying
and got
I
his
wouldn't.
kid and didn't go back for the guy.
That's
so he
weird.
rescued his wife and then just left the dude.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's like, well, okay, well, I'm going to go get this guy. So if you're going to throw me in jail, whatever. I'm not leaving his wife down here and her husband stranded up there. That's why I probably would have kept that to myself.
Yeah, no kidding. Why would you tell that story? You don't sound great.
I don't know. Here's some footage that somebody put on TikTok from the actual storm. Guys, he used to be a race car driver. He's got a YouTube video, but he was flying his helicopter around. I mean, they're just like every bridge is wiped out.
Yeah, this is.
I mean, it's bad.
Yeah. That is crazy.
And this is like up in the mountains. This is not where you would
That's
expect
like
to be dealing
Appalachia.
with hurricanes. It is Appalachia.
Like I said, like it is like a lot of U-Hauls.
Yeah,
Is
I
that
don't know if
you
they're in
all
the
placed?
process of moving or. But like his footage as he was flying around, it's horrible. Like whole
Sure.
roads, bridges. That's well, my winner is Bibi Netanyahu. Just to get my winner out of the way. That's basically because he kicked the leader of the UN is no longer allowed in Israel because apparently he's on the payroll for Iran, which be interesting to see what comes.
Wow,
of
that who would have thought that the UN is such a garbage organization.
Yeah.
Like we need to get the hell out of the UN. We need to get the hell out of NATO. F this place.
Well, I already said that I think NATO is.
It is. All we're doing is just spending money. It's dumb.
But the reason why he's my winner is because he went in front of those people, including our president, and said, "Look, you can support us or not. We're going to do what we need to do." Just totally unapologetic, like an actual leader. You might like him, you might hate him, but ultimately he's doing what he thinks is best for
Yeah,
his
he's doing what he thinks best for his country, and that's what every leader should do.
And as an honorable mention winner, Ron DeSantis. Because, well, Florida got hit, but I think they're a little more prepared for hurricanes, obviously.
Yeah, you think?
But they've been sending shit tons of supplies up to these areas. And if you need you could show we'll set you up on the next one, buddy. We'll set you up on the next one. All you need is a computer and a microphone. That's all you need. And
Yeah.
I guess the camera would
next
help.
2 weeks, Josh is going to be gone, so I'm going to need
That'll
somebody
be
to talk
fine.
to.
So you be his co-host.
Yeah.
But no,
You can break into Josh's house, use his stuff. Don't
There
worry
you
about
go.
it.
Sarah
He's
will
fine with
be
it.
but no, like Florida's been sending tons of material up, and apparently he sent like 1,700 miles worth of bridges, like emergency bridges and stuff. So I mean, that was pretty cool. He also did something that has to do with happenings of the week that I'll bring up later. So, but yeah, that's my winner. So
Good winners.
that means it's time for Trump Truth, buddy.
Trump truth.
Trump Truth.
What I say is what I say.
And the Trump Truth of the week is Tampon Tim just say he has. No, wait, did Tampon Tim just say he's become friends with school shooters? He isn't even qualified to be governor, let alone vice president. Walz and Kamala do not have what it takes. And that was the Trump truth of the week.
What I say is what I say.
I enjoy your enthusiasm, though. It's very
Woo!
good, even though
Yeah!
people can hear you in the background. All right, happenings of the week.
What's happening? What's happening?
What's happening?
What's happening?
What's happening?
All right, happenings of the week. Well, we kind of already talked. Well, no, we didn't really talk about the FEMA stuff, so we'll jump to the. Oh, that's rude. The hurricane. We
fucking
talked
red
about the
card.
hurricane, but we didn't really talk about the FEMA stuff. And that's what I got. That's what I think is kind of bullshit.
The FEMA stuff? Yeah.
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 I totally would shotgun a beer, but I'm in a very confined space and I have a very expensive computer in front of me.
that
Otherwise,
is
I would.
true. Yeah. In case anything goes wrong, a lot of stuff gets ruined. Yeah. No, FEMA's garbage. They've been spending all their money on illegals, immigrants, and putting them up in apartments. That's where they're getting $1 billion to do this. And it pretty much stripped the FEMA fund, and that's why there's like 3 FEMA trucks in all.
Well, they said the money was allocated separately, though. That's what
it
their
wasn't.
excuse for.
though.
It was like $1 billion.
Yeah, it wasn't. They took
So,
straight out.
Yeah, I
Them
thought that was
received
pretty
relief
shitty.
packages. They said whatever they want. They've also found there's whistleblowers saying their FEMA has misappropriated funds. So a bunch of garbage crap coming from a garbage administration that has garbage people in it. So yeah, I mean
Well,
that's
FEMA's set up to disperse money through equity and not by need.
yeah.
So I don't know.
So if you need it,
You got $750,
you
just
get
like those people
$750.
got in Hawaii when they were burned up by lasers.
See, maybe this was like some kind of space weather machine.
Could be. I mean, Hawaii was hit by space lasers, so
That is true. Unless
How-
you had a blue roof.
how messed up is that though? Like your entire livelihood's just gone. And granted, I get it,
Yeah, I'm old as shit, man.
but granted, I get it. Like the government can't like replace all your stuff. That's what home insurance and stuff for. But it's like, hey, you just lost everything you owned. Here's $750. Get yourself something nice. All I want is water.
You can't even get, what is that, a hotel for like 4 days
Yeah. Well, and
without
yeah,
food?
apparently there were whole truckloads of food and supplies turned around
Yeah.
because they weren't from preferred vendors.
FEMA, like people were bringing in foods and stuff to give to food banks and stuff out there. And FEMA pretty much told them if they unload their truck, they're going to take all their food.
Yeah, it's I don't
Like
know.
Hamas did.
That's not nice.
Yeah. I'm just saying, Hamas and FEMA, they're acting the same way.
Well, I mean, it
If you're an
is.
American trying to help another American, FEMA is going to stop you.
Well, I mean,
Because they're not-
everything about that is just. I
But
don't
they're
know.
going to claim some bullshit like, oh, somebody could have poisoned the food. Like, no one's going to poison your goddamn food. These people just, like, there's hundreds of people that have been dead, like, have died.
Yes, I agree. 10 years ago, I probably would have shotgun a beer.
Yes, I'm old and fat and, you know, I can barely breathe anyways. So, you know, shotgunning a beer.
If I shotgun, it upsets my sleep.
I'm gonna spit it up.
Actually,
Yeah, I'm going to drink.
Sorry,
Today.
Evan has had
I
a hard
drank-
time drinking liquids lately.
I have. I've choked myself like 3 times just drinking like coffee in the last 3 days.
He promised to get the next one on film so we can share with you him dry
yeah,
heaving and
that's-
throwing up
that's-
all over his truck.
That's a pay-per-view thing.
That's behind the paywall. You want to see Kevin throw up through his nose? It'll cost you 99
Yeah.
cents.
One dude, 1 cup of coffee is what I'm gonna call that one.
There you go. But yeah, so yeah, last thing I'll say on the hurricane response stuff is you're hearing a lot of people saying now, like, oh no, all these governors are happy and they're saying that they're doing a great job. That does, for one, that is not true. You wouldn't have as much civilian people helping out or needing to help out if they were doing their job.
Yeah, they are not doing their job.
So I don't
People
think
are
there's
not
the
happy.
people
I
that
can
are
tell you that.
stranded without water and shit like
They
that
are
not
very
happy.
angry.
So yeah. It seems like Iran's taking a second stab at joining the Fuck Around and Find Out Club. What do you think's going to come from that?
Porn has figured this out long ago.
Well, where do you think he got the idea?
Whatever. All right, what were we saying?
I said Iran has taken a second stab at joining the Fuck Around and Find Out.
Dude, Iran's going
Club.
to get fucked up.
He just came out today, the supreme ruler with a gun, being like, "Hey, we're gonna keep attacking." You think they're gonna? Well, so who was attacking him tonight? Like they were, looks like they
Iran.
were getting overwhelmed.
Iran.
Well,
I mean, the Iron Dome's only so good. I mean,
I think we're on the way.
yeah.
World War III.
Well, as long as Kamala Harris can go to a sorority and Joe Biden can stay at the beach, I mean, the world's fine.
Well,
So,
yeah.
Don't you worry about it. Don't you worry your pretty little head. World's fine because, they don't care. So why should you?
You think? Well, I think what are they talking about? Going after their fuel refineries and shit. And I think they're nuclear.
No, they told them not to go. They were going after fuel
I'm
refineries
talking
and
about-
oil fields.
yeah.
Or Israel. And Joe Biden's telling them not to go after the oil fields. Which why wouldn't you?
We shouldn't be getting our oil.
We're
from
not getting our
Iran.
oil from
Technically,
Iran.
They have.
You know who Iran's giving their oil to? China and Russia.
Yeah. So, well, I don't want to
I
make
don't
China
know.
and Russia mad.
Well, yeah, I know, right?
Well, because if you started bombing Iranian oil fields, that'd actually help us with our sanctions on Russia because they're
Yes.
bypassing our
I
sanctions.
don't
to
know
Iran.
why he would say that. I don't know if he knows what he's talking about anymore.
I just know it seems like Israel has their gloves off. So, like, I think, they have air superiority. They can literally just fly in and do whatever they want.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't know why I don't really understand the beef, but
You don't understand the beef.
no, like, I get,
There's
like,
a bunch
yeah.
of Jews in the middle of the Middle East.
So that's the beef, Kevin.
That's the beef. That's what the whole beef has always been
Well,
about.
I get that. I don't understand this. Like, I just don't understand like this visceral reaction to Jews. Like,
I don't
get it.
know. Because the Muslim.
You got to think the whole like all of Iran, Hamas, Hezbollah, all of these. Their whole thing is like hating Jews, and then below that, Americans.
Yeah.
Their whole culture is just based on hating like two groups, and like that would be exhausting. That's why you have suicide bombers
It'd be
because they're like, you know
exhausting.
what, this sucks.
This sucks.
sad.
Let's just end it.
Supposedly,
there's
I
a
get
bunch-
40 virgins. They may or may not.
If
be
not,
Jews.
whatever.
It's
I'm
not
just
specified.
tired of this shit. I just want to go out.
Give it to me. Fuck it.
That's
So-
exactly it.
It'll be interesting to see how big of a response that they have. What'd you think about Harris's visit to the border and her kick-ass like combat stuff?
I don't know, man. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't either.
It's what is it? 4 years, 3.5 years in. Congratulations, finally going there.
I think that was her first time
Yes.
at the actual border wall.
Yeah. So who cares? This isn't going to help you.
I think simultaneously,
No
like,
one
they were
thinks
airing
this
that,
is real. Like
the
everybody
border
knows.
patrol people were like, "Yeah, we don't support you."
Yeah. No one believes you now. No one believes you're going to be a hawk on the border when we're still letting in millions of people.
Yeah.
Like, who are you fooling? Your NPCs?
Maybe. You're a great subscriber. We love you. And I think the audience will
Does
like
she
you quite
wanna
a
be
bit,
on the
so
show?
You should very much be a guest on the show.
She can be on the show too.
Yes, you do.
You can actually
Co-hosting.
the whole show can be you having a conversation with her.
If you
Because
want to be a guest
All
on this show,
the
you
nerds
just-
that watch us obviously don't have anybody else.
And if you want to be a guest on the show, we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about, as long as it's like, it's got to be like, okay. But if there's a subject you want to talk about, or we can just bullshit, we don't care. This podcast is basically two guys bullshitting and drinking if you haven't figured it out. let's see the VP debate. I mean, we already pretty well
Really?
covered that. But do you think it moved the needle?
No. Well, maybe. It might not. I don't know.
I mean, a lot of people say the VP's candidates really don't.
Yeah, but it's so tight right now. The race is so tight right now by the polls. I don't know how much you can trust the polls, but I just said tight polls. Woo. But I mean, it might have. I mean, it might have. Yeah, I'm good with guns.
I like
Or
guns.
show topic.
Yeah. Border
Also,
security.
that's also good.
We've done the border disorder twice.
Hey,
But
we
you can always keep
could
talking
make
about
both
that.
of those into one show.
Yeah.
I
I mean, I think if someone was on the fence, like either way, which I'm not.
But if you're
100%
looking
sure,
at somebody like, hey, you know, Donald Trump is getting older, you know, so his VP candidate's a little more important than obviously Kamala Harris. She just wanted somebody dumber, and holy shit, she actually found somebody.
that's the problem when you do president, vice president progression, because the VPs just get dumber and dumber.
You better ask the guy from Friends that.
Oh, it's too soon, Kevin. Too soon.
Chandler? Was it Chandler? It was Chandler, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's dead.
You're horrible.
He done died. Ketamine.
He did. And I think the people that gave him his drugs are getting like life in prison.
Good.
Facilitating
I mean, it's murder.
Yeah, it was murder.
Do people who supply fentanyl go to life in prison? Or is it just because it's somebody famous?
I don't know. I think, there's no way he could do it. But like Trump's like, yeah, if you're dealing fentanyl, you're getting the death penalty. That's not going to happen. That's hyperbole.
Yeah, one, not every state has. I mean, is there a federal death penalty? I don't think so, right? It's got to go by state, right?
No, there's a federal death penalty.
Is there?
Yeah, if you commit treason, like the people.
Well,
that
I
were
mean,
stealing,
is that
No.
treason?
no.
No.
I'm just
so-
saying there's a federal death penalty.
Yeah,
The
for
people that were
treason.
stealing secrets from the Manhattan Project, the husband and wife were put to death.
Yes. Okay. Yes, you're right. There is a federal death penalty for treason.
Thank you.
It's not like there's a.
That means there's a federal death penalty, Kevin. I am
for-
right.
Shut the fuck up. All right, go on to the next one. I don't even know what the fuck we're talking about.
Well, the next one, pretty much the last thing I have is something that's been half-ass resolved. No. The second Trump shooter pleads not guilty and asks for a jury trial, and then the prosecution asked to have the case delayed indefinitely because there's so much information.
I hope he does have a fucking jury trial.
The weird thing is he's like, I plead not guilty and I want to be judged by a jury. And then the freaking prosecution comes in.
In
like,
Florida?
well, yeah. I guess you can move it anywhere because of the federal crime, but it should
They'll probably
be held
move
in
it to
Florida.
They'll probably move it to New York, and you'll get off.
But then the prosecution came in and asked to delay the proceedings.
Well, he can't get
indefinitely.
out. He's got no bail, so it's just like
No,
so
he's
it's
in there.
just going to be in jail forever.
You don't think it's weird that the federal prosecution asked for an indefinite?
Yes, I do
delay?
think it's weird, but I mean, at least he's in jail. It's not like he got out on bond.
You think it was weird that
But no, they
who's the head
also
attorney?
because who's what?
Merrick Garland.
Yeah.
You think it was weird that they released that guy's like all his writing saying, "Hey, just so you know,
I said
I got a
that last week.
150K thing," but you know,
He pleaded right there. He wrote it. He said, if I don't succeed,
what I'm
Yeah, I don't-
saying is, do you think it was a bad decision on
I
them to release it?
you know I asked this question last week, right?
Yeah, well, I don't pay attention when you talk, and I don't
It
remember
was a
things.
question to you.
Just
You
answer my
answered.
question. I think it was a horrible idea.
Thank you. You said that last week. I'm glad you didn't change your mind.
You're being a
Jesus.
real jerk this week, Kevin.
It was literally a question I asked last week.
This is why people hate you.
No one hates me.
Everyone hates you.
Whatever. Fuck
They
that.
just feel like you're slightly touched, so nobody says it to your face. Longshoremen went on strike. Now they're off strike. What'd you think of that?
I think it's bullshit.
Why?
I just say go fully automated. Fuck them.
Did you?
One, they make 88,000 as a base salary, and they want.
Well,
how
and
much-
here's the reason why. If you work in an industry where you can cripple an economy, you shouldn't be able to strike. Transportation unions can't strike.
Agreed.
Here's an example of why they shouldn't be able to.
These
This
people
is the
today don't
union
know what a
leader.
strike is.
Obviously, because it says longshore.
When
union
my
boss
men
as
hit
well.
the streets, from Maine to Texas, every single port will lock down. You know what's going to happen? I'll tell you.
He's sticking up for you because
First
he knows
week,
you're special. I'm not a jerk.
Be all
I'm
over the
just
news
pointing
every
out the
night.
I can hear what this
Second
guy's
week, guys who sell cars can't sell cars because the cars
guy's
ain't coming in
definitely
off the ships.
He does
They
have
get
mob
laid
connections,
off.
for sure.
Third week, malls start closing down.
This guy
They
makes
can't get the
over
goods from China.
$700,000
They
a year.
can't sell clothes.
Lives
They
in a
can't
$6
do
million
this.
house and owns a
Everything in the
76-foot
United
yacht.
States comes on a ship.
He's
They
a
go out
union
of
boss.
business.
That's his job.
Weird.
Construction workers get
Whack
laid
this
off because the
motherfucker.
materials aren't coming in. The steel is
He
not
got bonked on the head.
The lumber's not coming in. They lose their job. Everybody's hating the longshoremen now because now they realize how important our jobs are. Now I have the president screaming at me, I'm putting a Taft-Hartley on you. Go ahead. Taft-Hartley means I have to go back to work for 90 days.
like we need to show
That's a
that
cooling off period.
We show
You think when I
everything.
go back for 90 days, those men are going to go to work on that pier? It's going to
There are
cost the
3
money,
ports
companies
in,
money to pay their salaries.
California,
Well,
they're
they
fully automated.
went from 30 moves an hour maybe to 8. They're going to be like this. Who's going to win here in the long run? You're better off sitting down and let's get a contract and let's move on with this world. And in today's world, I'll cripple you. I will cripple you.
This guy
and
is-
you
that is
have
not the
no
first time that
idea
guy's ever
what
said
that
that.
means. Nobody
No.
does.
Well, and here's the thing: the base salary for a longshoreman is $88,000 a year.
That's a pretty good salary, especially most of it's in the South and poorer states.
Yeah. Now people will say, what? Are you making fun of me again? I don't know. Yeah. We just said it like multiple times.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I feel like you're not actually listening to the show.
He's not. He's probably just playing in the background. We're his white noise.
Talking to girls.
We're his white noise. We're
But think about
Where's
it.
wingman?
Like people will say, well, $88,000 a year. Like, what if you lived in New York? Well, over 50% of longshoremen made over $150K in the year 2020.
Yeah.
So they wanted a 73% raise, which would have raised the base up to $146,000 a year. Now, well, maybe. I mean, we said worse. Kevin has said way worse. But like they're asking, their original ask was 77% pay increase over 5 years, which would have bumped them up to $150K a year after 5. And then they also wanted less automation. And then what they were offered was 50% pay raise. Now it's up to 66. I think they actually settled on 66 to
No, to
If
keep
you
it
had-
up until January 15th. That's not
Yeah,
a fucking
So I
permit.
think they did bump it up to 66%. Along with that offer, and that would bump them up to 146K. Okay.
Yeah.
They also offered to triple the employer contributions to their employer retirement plans, strengthen the healthcare options, and they'd stay status quo in automation. And that's what they went on strike over. It's like if I asked for a raise and I got 20%,
I can't fix that.
I'd be super giddy.
I can't. It's Josh's fault.
No, it's something to do with the program.
Yeah. It's about a 30-second delay, I think.
Yeah. Sorry, buddy. But when you're a guest host with Kevin and you're rocking it and you're making the show so much better because I'm gone, it'll be way better.
And we'll just put the black box over Josh's face.
But could you imagine, like, if you ask for a raise and your boss is like, "Hey, I'll give you a 50% raise."
Yeah. I would
Maybe
love
it's
a
'cause
50%
we're
raise.
meager, I guess. I don't know. I do know that the strike was not going to affect Florida, though. That's why I had another honorable mention for Ron DeSantis, because as soon as they were talking about going on strike, he that's built in, buddy. That's built in.
Yeah, we don't have to put your stuff up. We just are. You're a program.
I'm not a program. You're a program.
Yeah.
But like Ron DeSantis had declared a state of emergency as soon as the talks were strike. So I don't know what the time limit was. But see, that shit was so late.
It's because of Josh's reading skills is the problem.
I do not read well. I mean, good. I don't read
He's
good.
got to approve it before we put it up on the screen. It takes so long.
This is huge font, too. It's very embarrassing. That's why we have a Pancake Class shirt, which you should purchase at our merch shop.
Yes. Go to our merch shop, buy some of our shit.
And I try in the description below. No, but like if the strike, I don't know what like how long he was going to, if it was a week or whatever. He had the Florida National Guard set up to take over the ports.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you're not shutting the ports down in Florida. Sorry.
Yeah. Ron DeSantis.
And you shouldn't be able to strike. Like I understand.
Badass governor.
Don't get me wrong. I don't have a problem with people getting their money, but when you're making $88K a year base,
when you're affecting 330 some million people,
and don't think that this 60% increase in pay isn't going to show up as this is basically a tariff on goods coming to the United States.
Yep.
So when your prices on shit goes up, thank a longshoreman for not being able to live off $88K a year. Base. Yeah. That's like, hey, I got it. The last time they striked, it was back in the 60s. They went 8 years before they added one longshoreman to the union. These type of unions, like you can't just like, if you want to be a roofer, like you would want to make horrible decisions. Like we have a horrible job, just shitty. Hot. We've been in hot containments in areas where frickin' the temperature's like 140 degrees. I can't read that. What's that?
Says, hey folks, tune in next week when Kevin and I will be getting drunk and talking about shit that doesn't suck.
Oh, that is so harsh, bro.
And then he put this.
That actually cuts deep since this is my week to run the show. So thank you. It's very nice of you, buddy. It's very nice of you. But no, like they just shouldn't be able to strike, period. And like, you kind of want the population on your side.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to potentially I could see like, we're only making $10 an hour. We can't feed our family. So I don't know. That pretty well it wraps up happenings of the week, Kevin. So you know what that means.
I do. White slur of the week.
White slur of the week.
What's a honky?
And the white slur of the week is Paris Hilton, based on the hotel heiress who represents every negative stereotype about WASP, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant women. And that was the white slur of the week.
What's a honky?
Fucking Paris Hilton.
Paris Hilton. I just loved it. I was like, that represents every negative stereotype for white women, basically.
Yes.
So if you want to talk shit about white women, just call them Paris Hilton. It just covers all the aspects.
Yep.
Well, Kevin, you got anything else?
Again, Josh will be gone for the next 2 weeks. So if somebody wants to be a guest, let me know. And also, if not, it's going to be pretty much a shit show next week. Probably talk about whatever's on my mind. I'm not going to make notes.
You might do the show with HS Maker.
I might.
It's going to be a shit show.
Well, if he wants to do it. But, or is he just drunk right now? No one knows.
All right. Since we got, a couple active viewers today, and we didn't really have any last week, I want to play this clip we made again, and I want to see if everybody has the same vibe we did.
I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been.
What can be unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been.
I know what I must do. Create a new one, teeming with life, that that knows not what it is lost, but only what it has been given.
I remember giving you a key to my house, bro.
Doesn't matter. He's got one.
Well, hopefully next week will be entertaining. I'll try to tune in while I'm gone. So you got anything else?
Nope.
All right. Well, thanks for all the viewer participation. You guys are awesome. Hope you tune in every Friday at 7:30. Until next week, I'm Josh.
And I'm Kevin.
And this was The Lost Art of Common Sense.
Common sense.
Common sense.
Keep that vinyl spinning.
And remember, don't be boring, be a pirate. And like we said every week until the election, we're going to remind you who Kamala Harris really is.
My values have not changed.
Reduce red meat specifically. Yes.
The Boston Marathon bomber. They should be able to vote.
I think we should have that conversation.
Abolish ICE.
Yeah. Would you ban offshore drilling?
Yes, and I'm in favor of banning fracking. I am prepared to pass a Green New Deal.
I support a mandatory buyback program.
We're not going to treat people who are undocumented and cross the border as criminals.
The idea that more police equals more safety, that's just wrong.
Policing, as we know, goes all the way back to slave patrols and that idea.
Yeah, you are absolutely right.
Where do you stand on defund the police?
We need to take a look at these budgets.
Do you ban plastic straws?
I think we should.
70 to 80% tax rate.
I think that's fantastic.
Chip in now to the Minnesota Freedom Fund.
How dare we speak Merry Christmas? Yeah, I am radical. I do believe that we need to get radical about what we are doing.